The Calgary Flames take on the Buffalo Sabres, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Calgary's minus 180, totals 5.5. And if you end up really liking this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you want to connect with me on a daily basis, please feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. Now guys, we're 10-2 in our last 12 college basketball tier package picks on BrockPage.com. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 NBA tier package picks on that very same website as well. We currently have over 920 members who are signed up and active on that page. And once again, if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. Jacob Markstrom's the expected netminder for Calgary. Craig Anderson for Buffalo. Despite some pretty good numbers from Anderson, Buffalo's lost 6 out of their last 8. And they're also allowing 33 shots on goal a game. Meanwhile, offensively, Buffalo's actually in the bottom 5 in offensive shots on goal as well. They're taking on a Calgary club who plays their best hockey on the road. As a matter of fact, the Flames are leading the NHL in road scoring. Andrew Mangiapane leads the club in goals with 10 of them. Meanwhile, Elias Lindholm has 17 points, and he's a plus 11. Lindholm's actually in the top 10 in the league in that plus-minus category. Now, defensively, the Flames are doing a really nice job keeping the puck out of the net on the road. Jake Markstrom's got a 183 goals against average, 938 save percentage. Now, injury-wise, Pitlick is still, once again, questionable for Calgary. Olofsson's questionable for the Sabres. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Buffalo's last 8 home games got over the number. They're also 7-3 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Calgary. I'm going to lean toward the Flames, minus 180, over 5.5. Next matchup, Devils, Panthers, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Florida's minus 195, number 6. Sergei Bobrovsky for the Panthers, Mackenzie Blackwood for New Jersey. Jersey's on a 2-game losing streak, 3-5 straight up in their last 8. The Devils are struggling to score on the road, bottom 3 in the league in road scoring. They're taking on a Florida team who hasn't lost a game yet at home. They're an undefeated 8-0 straight up at the Florida Live Arena. The Panthers also covered in 75% of those home victories. The Panthers are currently scoring more goals per contest than any other team in the NHL. Anthony Duclair and Aaron Ekblad, they're both plus 12s. Top 5 in the league in that category, by the way, for both of those guys. Florida's averaging 35 offensive shots on goal a game. Meanwhile, defensively, Florida's in the top 10 in fewest goals allowed per contest at home. Sergei Bobrovsky's 7-0 with a 178 goals against average, 942 save percentage. Now, injury-wise, Alex Barkov is still out. That is significant. Marchment is also listed as questionable. Meanwhile, total-wise, 2 out of Florida's last 3 fell under the line. New Jersey's 4-1 to the under on the road. I am going to lean toward the Florida Panthers, minus 1.5, under 6. Next game, Pens, Habs, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Pittsburgh's minus 145, totals 5.5. Tristan Jarry for Pittsburgh, Caden Primo for Montreal. The Canadiens are in the bottom 3 in goals allowed per contest, really struggling defensively. Montreal's also gotten the W in just 3 out of 9 home games. They're taking on a Pittsburgh club who leads the NHL in offensive shots on goal on the road. The Pens are averaging nearly 37 shots on goal a game when traveling. Evan Rodriguez has 6 goals thus far in the season, 11 points for the center. Meanwhile, Jake Gensel has 5 goals and 11 points himself. Pittsburgh's currently in the top 5 in third period scoring on the road. Meanwhile, defensively, the Pens are in the top 5 in fewest first period goals allowed on the road as well. Tristan Jarry's 5-4 through 9 starts, 252 goals against average, 917 save percentage. Now, injury-wise, Malkin's still on the IR for Pittsburgh. Drouin is questionable for Montreal. Now, total-wise, Montreal is 5-4 to the under on their home ice. They also saw 7 out of their last 9 meetings with Pittsburgh fall under the total. Meanwhile, the Pens have held Montreal to just 2.7 goals per contest in those very 9 head-to-head aforementioned meetings as well. Give me Pittsburgh minus 145, under 5.5. Next contest, Lightning, Flyers, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Tampa Bay is minus 130, totals 5.5. Vasilevsky for the Lightning, Hart for Philadelphia. And despite some really good production out of Carter Hart, the Flyers are allowing 34 shots on goal a game, really challenging the young goaltender. That's a lot of shots to face per contest. Now, offensively, the Flyers are in the bottom 10 in scoring on average per game, kind of struggling offensively. They're taking on a Lightning team who won 6 out of their last 8, and they also play their best hockey on the road. Tampa ranks in the top 10 in fewest goals allowed away from home. Andrei Vasilevsky 7-2 with a 220 goals against average, 924 save percentage. Meanwhile, offensively, the Lightning average 33 shots on goal on the road. Steven Stamkos has 8 goals, 16 points for Tampa Bay. Meanwhile, Victor Hedman has 11 assists thus far in the season himself. Now, total-wise, Tampa Bay is 5-1 to the under in their last 6 games. Meanwhile, Philadelphia is 8-1 to the under in their last 9. I'm going to lean toward Tampa Bay, minus 130, under 5.5. Next, looks like we skipped the Rangers. I'll include that. I'll include a pick on that in the quick pick recap. I don't know why I forgot the game, just overlooked it. But anyway, next contest, Sharks, Blues, 8 o'clock Eastern puck drop. St. Louis is minus 150, total 6. Ville Husso for the Blues, James Reimer for San Jose. Now Reimer's 4-2 with a 171 goals against average, 943 save percentage. The Sharks are allowing only 29 shots on goal a game. Meanwhile, offensively, San Jose's in the top 10 in road scoring. Thomas Hertl has 7 goals on the year, 11 points for the center. Meanwhile, Logan Couture and Timo Meier have 6 goals and 8 assists apiece. When it comes to the puck line in this one, San Jose is 6-3 against the number on the road this year. They're taking on a St. Louis club who's on a 4-game losing streak, and they also dropped 7 out of their last 10. The Blues have a losing record at home, and they're in the bottom 3 in second period scoring at home as well. Now, total-wise, 4 out of St. Louis's last 6 games fell under the total of 6 goals. Meanwhile, San Jose's 67% to the under on the road this year themselves. I'm going to lean towards San Jose plus 1.5, under 6. Next game, Stars, Wild, 8 o'clock East. Minnesota's minus 135, totals 5.5. Cam Talbot for Minnesota. Anton Khudobin for Dallas. Khudobin's 3-2 through 5 starts, as the Stars currently rank in the top 5 in fewest third-period goals allowed. Defenseman Yanni Hakampa is a +4 when he's on the ice. The Stars are taking on a Minnesota team who lost 2 out of their last 3. The Wild's also in the bottom 10 in goals allowed per contest, bottom 3 in first-period goals allowed at home. Now, total-wise, 6 out of Minnesota's last 8 meetings with Dallas fell under the total. Meanwhile, the Stars saw 5 out of their last 8 road games fall under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Dallas, plus $1.15, under 5.5. Next matchup, Jets, Oilers, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. Edmonton's minus 160, total 6. Mikko Koskinen for Edmonton, Connor Hellebuck for Winnipeg. But despite some really good numbers out of Winnipeg, the Jets actually play their worst hockey on the road. The Jets are currently in the bottom 10 in road scoring, bottom 5 in second period scoring away from home as well. They're taking on an Edmonton club who's 6-1 straight up at Rogers Place, They score a whole lot of goals there. Leon Draisaitl's got 33 points thus far in the season, 17 goals, 16 assists for the center. And as a matter of fact, Draisaitl's currently the league leader in goals and points. Meanwhile, Connor McDavid's leading the NHL in assists with 19. He's got 10 goals on the year and 29 points total. Only guy ahead of McDavid in points is Draisaitl, by the way. Now, injury-wise, Cashin is questionable for Edmonton. Ehlers is questionable for Winnipeg. And Stastny, he's going to sit this one out for Winnipeg as well, again. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Winnipeg's last 6 road games got over the number. Edmonton's 6-1 of the over at Rogers Place as well. Give me Edmonton minus 160 over 6 goals. Next contest, Blue Jackets, Coyotes, 9 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Columbus is minus 150, totals 5.5. Elvis Merzlikins in net for Columbus. Karel Vejmelka for Arizona. Now, Vejmelka's 0-9 thus far in the season. 329 goals against average, 897 save percentage. The Coyotes allow more goals per contest than any other team in hockey. They've also gotten the W in just 2 out of 16 games this season. Now, offensively, the Coyotes are dead last in scoring on average per game. They're taking on a Columbus team who won 4 out of their last 6, and they hardly let anyone score on the road. Defenseman Vlad Gavrikov is a +8 when he's on the ice. Meanwhile, Elvis Merzlikins is 6-2 with a 249 goals against average, 925 save percentage. Now, Domi, Line, and Boquist are still out for Columbus. Meanwhile, for Arizona, Strawman is listed as questionable. When it comes to the total in this one, Arizona's 10-6 to the under for the season, 6-3 to the under in their last 9 meetings with Columbus. I'm going to lean toward the Blue Jackets minus 150, under 5.5. Next matchup, Hurricanes, Ducks, 10 o'clock East. Carolina's minus 160, totals 5.5. Freddie Anderson for the Canes, John Gibson for Anaheim. Gibson's 9-2 on this season, 233 goals against average, 925 save percentage. The Ducks are in the top 10 in fewest home goals allowed. They're also 9-1 against the number in their last 10 home games, 15-2 against the number overall for the season. Troy Terry's got 11 goals, 21 points. Meanwhile, center Ryan Getzlaf has 17 assists thus far in the year. Anaheim's in the top 3 in scoring on average per game. They're taking on a Carolina team who may be going to work here today without Niederreiter, Nichas, and Pesce. Those guys are questionable. The Canes also rank in the bottom half of the NHL in second period goals allowed on the road. Now, the Canes are 4-3 to the over when traveling, 5-4 to the over in their last 9 meetings with Anaheim. I'm going to lean toward the Ducks plus 1.5 over 5.5 goals. Next and final matchup, Red Wings, Golden Knights, 10 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Vegas is minus 165, numbers 5.5. Robin Lehner in net for Vegas, Thomas Greiss for Detroit. Now, Greiss comes into today's contest with a .907 save percentage. The Red Wings have won 4 out of their last 7, and they're in the top 5 in scoring on average per game. Tyler Bertuzzi has 9 goals on the year, 17 points for the left winger. Bertuzzi's also a +8. Meanwhile, Lucas Raymond's the team leader in assists and points. As a matter of fact, Raymond's in the top 10 in the league in points with 18 of them. They're taking on a Vegas club who successfully cashed in on the puck line in just 22% of their home games. Matter of fact, the Knights are currently just 6-10 against the number overall for this season. Vegas has a major problem defensively. They're allowing 35 shots on goal a game, and they rank in the bottom 3 in home goals allowed. Now, injury-wise, Amadio and Martinez are out. Marchessault and Theodore are questionable. Meanwhile, for Detroit, Larkin and Roenick are questionable for them. Now, total-wise, Detroit's 7-2 to the over on the road. Vegas is 6-3 to the over at home. I'm going to lean toward Detroit plus 1.5 over 5.5 goals. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com. where we are 10-2 in our last 12 college basketball tier package picks. I like Calgary minus 180 over 5.5. Florida minus 1.5 under 6. Pittsburgh minus 145 under 5.5. Tampa Bay minus 130 under 5.5 goals. San Jose plus 1.5 under 6. Dallas plus $1.15 under 5.5. Edmonton minus 160 over 6 goals. Columbus minus 150 under 5.5. Anaheim plus 1.5 over 5.5 goals. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 10-2 in our last 12 college basketball tier package picks on BrockPage.com. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 NBA tier package picks on that very same website. I'm going to lean toward Detroit plus 1.5 over 5.5 goals. With that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Thomas Reese, who said the other day, "Glad to see you back today from watching other people do what you do, or try to do, I should say. I definitely enjoy how much effort you put into giving all relevant information available. The breakdown of the numbers, the injury reports, who went over and under. Everyone isn't as efficient as you, so thank you, bro." And I'll tell you what, man, I really appreciate that that comment. That means the world to me. I don't care how anybody cuts it up or tries to dissect it. 4 o'clock in the morning's early, man. I don't care what time zone you're in. 4 o'clock comes early. I'd be lying to you if I said that 4 a.m. doesn't come early. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's a lot of work. But I'll tell you this much, man. I mean, if I wasn't feeling this way, if I wasn't feeling exhausted when I got up in the morning, or even when I lay my head on the pillow at night, I probably would think that I wasn't doing it right. So I appreciate the comment, man. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. We're only, a week into college basketball, and I am dog tired. But I do it for you guys, man. And when you guys send me comments like that, it really makes me feel good. And makes me feel like, I'm doing it for a reason, and it makes me feel great. So I really appreciate that comment, and that kind of gives me the energy, gives me a spark to kind of push through on those days where I'm really tired and I got a lot of games to go through. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. If you guys end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on BrockPage.com, you are going to get access to those picks all the way through the end of November. Guys, these are games that I'm betting on personally. Out of all these free picks that I do on my YouTube channel, on Patreon, you get to see the games that I actually have my action on. I handicap every single game on YouTube, for content, because I like sports, I like sports betting, and I like engaging with you guys. But I don't bet on every single game. That's ridiculous. It's not even remotely feasible. You're going to lose. You can't bet on every game. So what's, very valuable about Patreon is that you guys actually get to see which games I have my action on. And obviously my win percentage is a whole lot better, betting 4 to 5 games a day versus every single game, every single day, all 4 slates, 5 slates, whatever's going on there. So anyway, guys, the earlier in the month you sign up on BrockPage.com, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at BrockPage.com.